Hey guys! So today I'm going to talk about a really interesting experience I had. This is going to be like a paranormal vlog. I know a lot of you really liked my last paranormal vlog. It's one of my most popular videos. And I don't know what is wrong with me and why I haven't made more, because I have a lot of stories. But, so this is another one that I'm going to make. I just want to start off like with a little kind of disclaimer. Because this story involves someone else that's not me. We both shared this experience, and we're not on like the best terms right now. We don't really talk. So I really just want to say to this other person, I don't have any like mean intentions behind this video. Like, I just want to share this experience, and I really hope they're okay with this. I don't think they'll have a problem with this, but I just want to say at the beginning, like, I don't mean this in like a mean way. I just want to like talk about it. First, let me say, if you see like weird mist in this area, that's like not a spirit. That's like my humidifier. So I just realized that, and I thought I would point it out because I know some of you are gonna be like, "Oh, like an apparition behind you," and it's like fucking hot steam. Okay, so just chill. This experience happened probably 4 or 5 months ago, when I was staying in the dorms of my college. I'm a freshman in college, so it's definitely mandatory that freshmen live in the dorms, or at least, like, I think just like buy a room in the dorms as like your place to live. But I haven't stayed in the dorms in 5 or 6 months because I've been staying with my boyfriend, like way off campus. But this experience definitely happened when I was living in the dorms. And I feel like I should give a little background info about the building that I lived in. I live in Richmond, Virginia, and I was staying in one of the oldest freshman dorms in my university. And I picked that dorm. I really liked it because it is fucking old as shit, but it has so much character. And all the rooms are like pretty big, and they're all different sizes, so it's definitely very nice for a dorm. But I've heard a lot of people say that it's haunted, and I would honestly have to agree. I've had several experiences in that building, and so I'm going to talk about all of them right now. A little background about my building. It was built around 1910, and it took a very long time to build because, obviously, like, they didn't really have, like, the technology we have now. They can't just, like, throw the building up. So I heard it took about 10 years to build. I don't have any, like, scholarly information about this. This is all just stuff that, like, I've heard through people that go to my school and, like, maybe some through the internet. So don't quote me 100%. It took a very long time to build, and I've heard that there were quite a few deaths in the construction of the building. That could contribute to, like, the bad juju that I feel in there. Something else about the building, it was never just freshman dorms. It was an apartment complex. Until about 1950, when my school became like a big school, and they bought that building and made it dorms. So up until about 1950, they were like luxury apartments, and obviously there had to have been some death in an apartment building. The building itself is very creepy. It has elevators, but the elevators really don't work. They get stuck all the time. The scariest thing has happened to me several times, and this is not like paranormal, but it just like contributes to like the freak factor. Like, the scariest thing about the elevators is sometimes the door will open, but not like the other door. So, you know, like in elevators, there's like three sets of doors. There's like the outside doors that are like metal, the inside doors that are metal, and then like in between those, there's like the like big industrial looking like cage door that actually is like the functional door. So sometimes the inside door and the outside door will open, but not like the middle one, so you're like kind of trapped in the elevator, and then it'll just get stuck and you can't get out, and it's so scary. You have to end up like pulling the door, which is, you don't know if you're like on your floor or not, so you could just be pulling it and there'll just be like black space. Like, that's super unsafe, so they should probably fix that. The stairs are really creepy. Like, all the buildings in Richmond are super old, so... Oh, there's a puppy outside. Hi, puppy. It's playing in the snow. Anyway, sorry. So, there's like, the stairs are really creepy, because they're really, really like thin and very steep, but they're like spiral stairs. And yeah, sometimes the lights are burnt out, and it's just really creepy. And like, I don't know who thought it was a good idea to do this, but my building is like the art student building. So there's like murals all over the walls, and there's like some really terrifying murals. I don't know who thought that that was a good idea to paint them. There's this one with this girl who's like kind of like screaming, and there's like fire coming out of her eyes, and I don't understand. And then there's this other one that looks like fetuses all over the walls. I don't get it, but art, man, I don't know. Yeah, going up and down those stairs, you kind of always feel like someone's behind you, or like someone's watching you, or you can like hear voices sometimes, but you never really know if that's just like, because the whole stair is like open and like goes up, so you never really know if it's just someone like 8 or 9 floors up that's like talking, and it sounds like a lot closer than it is, because the building definitely like plays tricks on you with the sound. Or like, I don't know if it possibly, like, if you believe in this, if it could be something paranormal, I don't know, but definitely the stairs, especially at night, are very creepy. I guess I'll start with the least scary experience I've ever had. Each floor has a laundry room, and I always definitely thought that was the like scariest part of my floor. But one time I went into the laundry room and I was doing my laundry, and I was like minding my own business, leaning into the washer like really hard to get my stuff all the way up from the back, because they're pretty big washers, and I swear to God, I heard like, I don't really know how to describe it. It wasn't like a whisper, but it didn't sound like a wind, but it sounded something like in between, like someone like breathing out like that, and it scared the living crap out of me. So I sat up really fast, and I hit my head really hard on the top of the dryer, and it hurt so bad, and I was like, oh fuck, and I said that out loud, and I looked around, there was no one in there, and then I swear to God, I heard something say, sorry. There was no one in the room, obviously, and like, you can believe me or you cannot, but I swear, I was so scared, I ran out of there without getting the rest of my clothes, and I got my roommate, and I said, please come here. I'm so scared. I still have like 5 minutes of stuff to do in here. Like, will you stay with me? And they were like, yeah. So, that was so scary. I swear to God, I heard something say that. I don't know if they felt bad because I hit my head or like what, but it was pretty terrifying, honestly. So now, the big experience, and this is the reason why I wanted to make this video, because this is probably one of the scariest things that's ever happened to me. Not like my most terrifying. I'll make a video about that if y'all want to see. But definitely like top 3. So it was like nighttime, and it was probably about 3 in the morning. I know that's the witching hour or whatever. But I had an exam, my like very first like biology exam. So I was studying like really hard in my bed, and the beds are lofted. So it's like there's the twin bed on top, and then underneath is like a desk, so that you can like conserve the most space in the room. I was in my bed, and my roommate was in their bed, and I was awake, and I have a little bedside lamp. So I was reading my textbook in my bed and highlighting, and my roommate was like fast asleep and had been asleep for like 3 hours. And you know how when you are like staying in the same room with someone, you kind of know when they're sleeping and when they're not. Like, you like learn their breathing patterns, and you can tell, and like maybe they snore a little bit, you can definitely tell if they're asleep. So please don't comment and say like, this is like them just playing a trick on you or whatever, because I swear to God it was not. My roommate was never a person who would do a like mean prank, ever. Not like, they were definitely not like a prank person at all. Not even just like a mean prank person. Like, they did not like pranks, they did not do them. They were very nice. This just wasn't their idea of like humor, or just like anything they would even want to do. So maybe if it was someone else, they would do this, but definitely not my roommate. I was in my bed, and I was reading, and all of a sudden, out of nowhere, my roommate just sits up in bed. And they just sit up in bed and stare straight ahead at the wall. And so I called their name, and I was like, are you okay? And they just kept looking straight ahead, and they said, Grace, there's a man in here. And I was like, what? And they were like, there's a man in here. And I was like, where? And they were like, under the bed. And I was so scared at this point. I was like, a man? Where? And they just pointed underneath the bed. I called their name again, and I said, what are you talking about? They sounded kind of like exasperated. They were like, can't you see him? He's staring right at you. And I swear to God, I've never been this scared in my life. And I was like, I don't know what you're talking about. I don't see anything. I couldn't turn the lights on because, like, you had to get all the way down and all the way out of bed to turn on the lights. And I was so scared, so I couldn't. So I used the, like, flashlight on my phone, and I kind of just, like, shined it around the room, and there was nothing there. They were like, can't you see him? And I was like, no, I can't. What man? And they were like, he lives in the stairwell, but he's here now. And just falls back into bed and goes back to sleep. I don't know if that's exactly paranormal, but it was definitely very terrifying. In the morning, when they woke up, I went to them and I asked, do you remember anything last night? And they were like, what are you talking about? And I was like, that's not funny if you were playing a prank on me. And they were like, I honestly, like, don't know what you mean. Like, what did I do? And I was like, you don't remember saying, like, there's a man in here, and, like, insisting there was a man. And they were like, no. And so I told the whole story of everything that happened, and they were so scared too. And I ended up, like, writing a letter to my grandma, who's, like, my spiritual guidance person. So I always email her and, like, tell her whenever anything, like, paranormal or, like, spiritual or anything happens to me, so I can ask her, like, what she thinks, like, what I should do and stuff. And she was like, burn sage. And I was like, I can't burn sage. That's against my building's regulations. And she said, okay, go in your room and say, this is my room right now. You can stay. If you don't, make yourself known. If you're going to play pranks on me or do anything mean, you are not welcome here. And she said, just go in and establish the fact that, like, this is your room and that they are not welcome. And so I did. When my roommate was out of the room. I said, we live here. You aren't welcome. Please leave or be nice. Don't scare us anymore. That's not okay. And I never had another experience. That's good, I guess. I didn't really stay in the dorm much longer after that. But I did hear stories of, like, other people tell me they heard, like, little kids, like, laughing, and they heard doors slamming, and their doors were being opened and closed and stuff. And thankfully that never happened to me. But I still had a very scary experience in the dorm, and I'm not a big fan of the dorm because of that. The building is creepy enough as it is without ghosts. So let me know what you think below, as per usual, and you guys can always request more videos like this, or you can tell me, like, I fucking hated this video, don't make another one like that ever again. Thank you guys for watching, and if you like this video, you can like it. And you can subscribe to me on social media. I have Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, obviously YouTube. You can contact me if you want. I'll try to respond to you. But until the next time I see you, goodbye. Stay spooky.